Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. They say that a watched pot never boils, but a barrel of whiskey, if you watch it and watch it and watch it, oh, it will boil into something magnificent. And tonight we are very pleased to be hooking back up with Greg Lehman from Watershed Distillery on their 10th anniversary. And on their 10th anniversary, when they started the whole company, they started putting aside a little something that had to sit and wait and mature until it was finally released, which it will be here very soon. So we're very excited to talk about barrel strength Watershed 6-year bourbon limited release. How special do I feel that I got one of these before all the other kids on my block? Very special. So without further ado, let's go and get to our boys at the Video Central, John Whitney and Greg Hansberry on the audio side. Hey, gentlemen.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Last night we had another podcast, and before you guys parted company, I shared some of the Watershed with you in your individual containers. Hansberry's got the high point boys flask, and Whitney has an IV bag of some sort.
That's right. It is an IV bag, yes.
Also, that we could all sample it and have an advanced taste before we actually sit down with the man who is responsible. And already, I know from our previous podcast, if you've never heard the other podcast with Watershed Distillery, go back to the archives and listen to it, because it gives a complete history of how Watershed came to be, where they're at, where they're going. And one of the things that was teased in that podcast was this particular bottle. So without further ado, let's say hello to Mr. Greg Lehman. Hello, Greg. There he is. Oh,
hey guys.
You're
here.
He is COVID clean cut, my friends. Last when we were in the distillery, you had long hair and some sort of hippie kind of sweater on, and
those were the good old days.
And like where you had some kind of similar growth that I got going on. Now look at you. You almost look like you run a company.
I try to run a company. It's questionable.
He's doing press. He's got to do press. He's got to look good for the magazine spread.
Right. And we were there in the barrels. It felt like I should be rough and feel.
No, man, it was cool. It was great being at the distillery. That was before all of this, before COVID. That's one of the reasons we're going remotely with this particular installment, is because it's just hard to get everybody together. Hansberry's pointing to all the business that we have.
Yeah, let me get the boring stuff out of the way.
Boring stuff out of the way before we dive into the good stuff. Go ahead.
Thanks for subscribing to Whiskey Business on your favorite podcasting app, iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Spotify, you name it, we're on there. Also, thank you for subscribing on our YouTube channel, because really the subscriptions help us like the best. So go ahead and click right there on subscribe, and click the bell icon, and then you'll get notifications every time we get something new. whiskeybusinesspod.com. Our home base for all of our archived episodes, plus some videos, behind the bottle stuff, fun videos and writings that Dino's drunkenly posted, and our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Disney Plus.
Last night it was HBO Max.
Yeah, HBO Max.
HBO Max.
We get around.
Yeah, we try.
Should you tease the show for next week with Billy DeMora? Because that was really awesome last night.
Last night we recorded the world's most superstitious Buckeye fan, who is now the world's most disappointed Buckeye fan. Billy DeMora was back on for his 5th time. The episode will be called A Season Demoralized. He is beside himself. He also works with the Democratic Party, so it was a mixture of disappointing sports conversation with no Buckeyes and a very fiery discussion about the upcoming elections in November. We have to remember, Hansberry, to put a disclaimer that everything said on last night's podcast are not the opinions necessarily of Whiskey Business.
Yeah, I was going to say fiery. That's putting it very politely.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty
Loaded.
crazy. It's gonna be one you're gonna want to listen to, because what we're doing here with Mr. Greg Lehman is going to be seen before Billy DeMora, because we're excited. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. There, let me turn it the right way. This is first of all, for aesthetic purposes, it's a beautiful bottle.
It's nice.
It's a beautiful looking, designed bottle.
It's my favorite one we've put out so far. I love this bottle. I think it looks great.
You know, it's attractive. It's handsome. It's got bourbon appeal. You want to drink what's in it just by the way it looks. And I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the few people that got something sent to them a little bit early, and it came in this magnificent box. And I'm one of these. I gotta save that box because I'm gonna put something in it. It's one of those cool boxes that you're gonna put there's gonna be some sort of whiskey collection of something in that box for future reference.
It's so huge. I thought that there's an iPod in there or iPad.
It was big.
Yeah. I thought maybe each of us would get a bottle. Come on, Greg.
Beautifully packed. No, it's in case you didn't see the label, it says limited release.
Yep.
No,
but this one is a long time in the making, Greg. So right out of the gate, when you guys started Watershed Distillery, did you know that let's put something off to the side right now, and because we're going to be here for a while, and
right out of the gate, we put some barrels away that we were really excited about, and they were special barrels, and we were going to release them for some special event. And then the reality set in, and money was running out, and we were trying to make ends meet, and those barrels just got pulled right into the regular bourbon used and disappeared. And so, it would have been a great story if we had put those away in year 1 or year 2, but it really wasn't until, even with this product, I like to think that 6 years ago, we had the foresight to put stuff away and say, hey, when you touch this, it's going to be amazing. And I think that was maybe in the back of our mind. But honestly, with this product, it was when we dumped our apple brandy barrels and started sharing that with the world a few years back, we decided at that point, like, all right, here's opportunity. Let's take the best bourbon we have. Let's try some barrels. Let's get the oldest stuff that's about 4 years old, and let's dump it and put it in the apple brandy barrels. And we thought at that point, we knew, like, all right, this is going to be great. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, I wish that back at 10 years ago we had put some barrels away. Well, I say that I know what we were making 10 years ago isn't as good as what we were making when this was put away, and so I know we learned a lot in those years. So
when I first met you, Greg, actually, if I could say something, it was probably about 10 years ago. You guys had just opened your doors. I was working on a documentary about the fan pods.
That's right.
That?
Yeah, I do remember.
And you had not put out bourbon yet. And I said, are you going to put just one barrel away just to have in 10 years or something? You're like, I'm not sure about that yet.
Yeah. Well, we convinced ourselves, maybe you even sparked the idea. We convinced ourselves.
Yeah, Johnny, it's all you, dude.
We convinced ourselves to put away some birthday barrels and some things like that, but then it all just got used.
Yeah.
Things start, it's a small business, and the best laid plans are out there, but then reality sets in and you're like, we got this today. We got to keep the lights on somehow.
Yeah. And that's what struck me about you in the first podcast too. You have this sincere sense of humility when you say we keep the lights on. It's a small business, but Watershed is making its mark, no pun intended, in the spirit world. And there's respect for what you guys put out there on a regular basis. So when you said, 6 years ago, when you're 4 years into the plan, there had to be a certain amount of confidence that said 6 years from now, we're going to be able, on our 10th anniversary. Is it the actual anniversary? When's the actual anniversary?
So on September 1st, 2010, we got the key to our space, and the still arrived the same day. So that morning, my business partner, Dave, and I were out there unloading the still and trying to set it up. Actually, I say unloading the still and trying to set it up. It took us about half the day to figure out that the pallets in the container were like hex bolted into the bottom of the container.
Oh, no.
We're in there with a pallet jack trying to lift it up and couldn't move, and we're so excited, but we couldn't get it off the container. It was painful. So we're back and forth to the hardware store, and we finally figured out, like, yeah, we take these screws out, it's going to come out a lot.
It was like me trying to fix something around the house.
I mean, it was a lot of like start and stop stuff where two guys with tons of ambition, and then, you know, we're banging our head against the wall after a few minutes, but we figured it out. And but yeah, that was 10 years ago on September 1st. And so at this point, the guys that sold us the still on September 3rd, I believe, is when they came down, and we started putting it together and making product and testing it out.
Wow.
Cool.
Has it flown by?
It has flown by. You know what? It seems like something that I've done for such a long time when I think about just Watershed and my experience with it. But when I think about that day or those days and those first couple of weeks, the memories are really vivid, and it doesn't seem like it was 10 years ago.
Is there video of those early days? Did anybody have
there's a few pictures, and that's it. But, I wish there was video. That would have been great if we had the foresight to take some video.
Yeah, because everybody says, "Oh man, we should, capture this and
capture it." Yeah,
that would have been very cool. Well, you got the pictures, though. I mean, you got the pictures of your humble beginnings.
Right.
Yeah, it's just as good. And this particular whiskey, a limited release. How much of it is there?
You know what? We are going to take 50 cases and put it in the bottle shop, which is talk about that would be our biggest one-day release, but that's not much product. So we're going to put 50 cases in the bottle shop, and then there's a few cases that are going out to some of the agencies into other states, but not much.
So this is truly, if you get it, cherish it, because it's a one and done.
That's right, and that's it. Like we're hoping to bring it out again sometime next year, maybe even next September, but yeah, this is it for now. So I think it's gonna go pretty quickly. But we are obviously I've tasted it, and I'm smiling. I'm excited about it. You guys, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Well, first of all, right off the bat, with the nose, when you talked about your apple brandies and whatnot, I definitely get the I can smell the fruitiness in the apple right out of the gate, and it's very enticing and welcoming in that respect. And then
it's so smooth.
I like the fact, I like how it.
And I have to say, you guys are professionals, because this is 119 proof. This is barrel strength. It's strong, and you guys take it down no problem. This is professional. This is
I was gonna say gasoline.
No, it's very smooth for
114 for sure.
Yeah. 119.
Yeah.
119 proof.
Wow, even more.
But that is the case. Sometimes people always look at the proof of a whiskey and assume that because it's 114 or 119 proof that it's going to burn, and sometimes they do. But this one is relatively smooth. And I was getting ready to say, I like how it lingers on the roof of my mouth, up on top. Yeah. It almost layers in there, and it's got a really nice long finish. So you can truly, since this is a limited release, once you do get this, you can truly take your time with it.
Yeah, the sip goes a long way.
And I would suggest, I'm not opposed to ice or anything like that when it comes to this, but in order to give this its due, try to drink it neat right out of the bottle first, so you can really appreciate everything that's going on.
Of course, I put ice in mine.
I drank it neat last night.
So for me, I like, whenever I get a barrel strength, I like to taste it neat just to see what I'm working with.
Right.
But I found with this, I've had it a few times now. I like just a little bit of water or just a little bit of ice in there. That opens up. I've really been impressed with how this opens up with just a little bit of water. And I know everyone's going to have their own.
Everybody's got their own way to do it. And I will put some ice and open this up a little bit. But like you, out of the gate, I want to see especially when it's barrel strength. When it's barrel strength, I want to see exactly what came out of that barrel without anything, without compromising anything or adding to it, because it opens up.
I'll take a pull straight from the High Point boys.
Now you're going to take a pull out of a metal flask.
I can't win here. You want it straight or there's almost like a gin quality to it, and like in a good way. I don't know if that's maybe the apple. I don't know. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is.
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, when I taste it, I really get. I smell that apple on the nose. I get a lot of baking spices and some of that dark fruit coming through, and then on the flavor, it almost leaves with a little bit of red apple on the end of it as well. But I do get a lot of complex finish, and when you add that water in and it opens up, I think it just softens that finish a little bit and really prolongs it in my experience.
And I was talking about the how it lingers on the roof of my mouth. It's like I've got some almost melted caramel up there. Yeah. That's just kind of lingering on the roof of my mouth as the finish continues to go down. So yeah, this is the best goddamn candied apple I'd ever had.
It doesn't burn when it goes down either.
No, it's very smooth.
It's really smooth.
It's even smoother with the ice.
It's
a little bit of ice cubes in this.
After we get done, I may put a little ice or a little water in this and check that out. But for now, for the length of this podcast, I'm gonna stay neat, because also in my package, boys, I got a lovely little Watershed.
Nice
as well.
Nice.
Yeah. What is that?
I got my St. Louis Cardinals.
St. Louis Cardinals, the same thing. Yeah. So September 19th is when people can come down to Watershed, to the bottle shop, and pick this up if they want to.
Yes. Yeah. Come on down.
And it's September 19th also when it's going to be released in stores, or is that later?
I believe it'll be the week after. I think
because
September 21st, it'll start showing up in some liquor agencies. And OHLQ has that great website where you can go and you can search by product, and it'll show you which agencies have it. So if you go to ohlq.com, you can find where it'll be outside of the bottle shop. Look for that probably the week of the 21st. But the 19th, we're going to start at 9 a.m. We expect there to be some people over there trying to buy bottles.
Yeah. One or two, right? One or two.
Well, every time you guys release something, there's always a line down there. Hell, you had people in line. My neighbor was just telling me, I said I had another podcast tonight with Watershed Distillery, and she went, "Oh wow, what are they putting out?" And I told her about the whiskey that was coming out, and she goes, "That's where she got her hand sanitizer."
Oh yeah.
Watershed Distillery. Yeah.
You guys still have the sanitizer?
What's that?
You still have the sanitizer?
Oh yeah, we still have some hand sanitizer. But it's funny you mentioned the line. I always thought when we started, we were going to have a line around the block someday of people lining up for one of our products. And we really we did some release parties, and people would park and they'd come in and there might be a line at the counter, but never like a line down the street. And it wasn't until we released hand sanitizer during April, right at the beginning of April, when no one could get it. And I show up to the distillery, and there is a line down the street, around the block, through two traffic lights, stopping traffic. The police put up, trying to get us to move it. And I'm looking at the line, going, "Well, I always hoped this would be for one of the spirits we make, but hey, we'll take it. Won't complain certainly at that point." But yeah, we're hoping. We think there'll be a pretty good line, since no one can come inside. It's all going to be, drive up, and we'll have a couple lines going, but I think there'll be a line of cars trying to get in and get some of this.
Yeah. How have you adjusted with the craziness that's going on in the world right now with COVID? How has COVID affected the day-to-day operations and moving forwards, if you will, of Watershed Distillery?
Yeah, so we shut the restaurant down when the governor shut it. Well, I say we shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
In March, they shut restaurants down, so we had to close that. And we still haven't reopened. we're cheering for a lot of restaurants out there that are open and they're making it go and they're being really safe and careful. For our team and our operation, we're a pretty small footprint. Our restaurant's pretty tight. And we haven't been able to find a good way yet that feels safe for our crew and customers. So we're still closed on that side of things. Our distillery business, 60% of that was sold into restaurants. And so when our restaurant closed, all that business went away also. And there were a few weeks of not much sleep by me and a lot of stress. And I think our team handled it really, really nicely. And we were able to pivot. And we were fortunate in a couple ways. One, hand sanitizer helped. We were able to pivot and make some hand sanitizer, and that brought in some income. And it gave our team this morale boost that was incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Where, we needed it. We needed something to cheer for, and that was it. And then we've seen the retail side of our business really do well. As everyone can't go to restaurants, turns out they still want to drink, which
Yes, they do.
And so they're going to the liquor store, and so we've seen that business come up. And then our sales reps, I got to cheer for them. They went from knowing really, who they were calling on with the restaurants and having these relationships to having to pivot and spend a lot more time going into liquor stores and working on, building relationships with those people. And they've done an incredible job with that, which is fun to see. But I think as we move forward, it's a fine balance because you got restaurants opening up again. And like I said, we're cheering for them and we see that business coming back up, but it's still not what it was.
Yeah, because didn't you steal away an amazing chef in order for your restaurant, as I recall in the last podcast? Yeah.
Our chef came down from Cleveland. He's a Central Ohio guy, but he had been up there, and we got him to come back down here. And so he and his team are they are sitting on the sidelines at the moment, waiting for us to reopen, and we're hoping that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that'd be great because you guys got high marks for your restaurant as well.
Yeah,
it seems like whatever you guys put out, it's top notch, man. You're blessed. So, what's the future hold in the months and years to come? I mean, this obviously is a lovely surprise and gesture. That's great. This is going to be something that anybody that gets a bottle of this is going to be very, very pleased that they get it. I believe it retails, quote me, I don't want to misquote, $69.99.
Right? $69.99. That's right.
Worth every damn penny.
It's very good. Yeah.
Worth every damn penny. This is something special that's coming out. But as you move forward, what other things are in the works that maybe you can share or tease or let us know about?
Yeah. Obviously, we want the restaurant to open back up. And as soon as we know more about that, we'll throw it out there. But that's foremost on my mind is like, how do we get there? How do we open it back up and let those guys do what they do so well and have a little fun in there? The other thing that I will tease, it's our 10-year anniversary year. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't gone anywhere like we thought.
No.
Super excited to be releasing this product this year. But there is a chance.
Yes.
That we might release one more product after this. So we got to get through the 19th, and we got to have fun with that. But we have something up our sleeve that before the end of the year, maybe around the time we do our big Nocino event later this year, there might be something else that comes out. So stay tuned.
So something right around the holidays that might be
it might be a holiday fun thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much we're gonna see of Santa this year. So I want there to be a Christmas, Greg.
Yeah, we're trying to make Christmas.
We're trying to make a Christmas. I want there to be a special Christmas. I want this to be. We teased when I was down in Florida. I watched a bunch of Hallmark movies with my mother. That's your thing. So let's turn this into a Hallmark movie with a very, very happy ending.
It's a Watershed Christmas miracle.
On the Hallmark Channel, Watershed Christmas. Oh yeah,
we can write that.
We can write that right now.
A bachelor comes to town and gets a job.
There's a
barrels around.
Formula. There's a formula to the Hallmark movies. We'll just pop in the whole whiskey angle of it, and boom, done. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. I look forward to that. Well, look, man, this is magnificent. Congratulations. It was really hard not opening this bottle until last night. I shared with them. I had to actually take it in its box and hide it from myself so as not to, get a jump on anything, because I wanted all of us to experience this together at the same time.
It's a good thing you found it. It's a good thing you found it.
Yeah, I haven't lost.
How do you hide something from yourself?
It was like
don't
No
know,
Country for Old Men. He like put it in the vents.
I put it out of plain sight.
Well, whiskey does make you forget, though. So there was a chance that it would be lost forever.
Yeah,
whiskey also makes you remember, John Whitney. It makes you remember the things that you want to forget.
Okay.
So Greg, man, congratulations with this. Congratulations. Thanks for sticking in there through all this crazy time. I'm glad to see that you guys did pivot and are continuing to grow and blossom. And the whole thing with the hand sanitizer too. You said that wasn't the line you expected or were thinking about when you opened up the distillery, but you said what a morale booster it was for your staff. And probably the people. There's a lot of goodwill in that, that came from that. And that's the one thing I love about, we've talked now to just almost, I think there's still a couple of local guys that we still need to get on. But once again, the respect and camaraderie with all the local distillers here in town, while they compete, they also come together on a regular basis too. And the hand sanitizer was a huge one. Everybody got on board with that and did their thing. So congrats and kudos to all the things that you keep doing for Central Ohio and continuing to spread the good name of Watershed throughout the country. I wasn't kidding when I said, it's very respected in the spirit world. Your whiskey, I'm not telling you something you don't know. Your whiskey gets high marks in a lot of bars and restaurants across the country. It's in Chicago. It was like, this is the Watershed whiskey from Columbus, Ohio, and it was up on the top shelf. So you're a top shelf dude, man.
In Chicago.
And is he frozen up? Did he go away?
No.
Did he freeze?
Oh, I think he might have.
He's speechless.
He's
coming back. Good thing we're not live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can edit this.
I was wondering, like, he was so stoic.
So stoic. I just waiting for him to interrupt me. I just kept lavishing praise.
Keep going. And
tell me more. Is he back?
Wanted to
not yet. I'm waiting for him.
Post comments.
What's that?
I keep wanting to go to the comment section, but
there is no comment section to go to.
Does anybody have? Oh, there he is. Okay. His stream was a little funky for a second. His audio.
Yeah.
All right.
Is he back?
There he is. Okay.
Can you hear me?
So, did I have to repeat all the lavish praise I just laid on you? Could you hear it?
I heard it.
Because we were saying he's not moving. He's so stoic with all this praise I'm throwing at him.
You froze me.
keep going. And you're missing one.
And I've had them. I've had them. You forgot to mention that I've had them.
What a hell of a Hammerschlagen player.
Yes. I like the Hammerschlagen reference. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So anything else we need to know before we let you get on? Because I know you got a tight schedule.
No, this has been great. I think this has been fun. You guys do a great job on here. So thanks for having me on. And I'm pumped about this product.
I'm glad we got to come full circle from the first time you were on the podcast and we actually talked about, this day coming. I'm glad we actually got to come full circle. And
me too.
And be part of the excitement of the release of it. We feel as Whiskey Business, we feel honored to be a part of it and included in the mix. So we're just as happy for you as you are. So thank you.
Well, thank you. No, it's great to be on and share the product. It's always fun for me to see people react to it. And remember back when we first started making gin and people were tasting it, and that part never gets old. I feel like when you put everything into something and you see people get to enjoy it, and I'm sure what you guys see when people react to the show and enjoy it and they're laughing, that it's hard to describe that, but it never gets old.
Yeah, your gin is now my go-to when I know that I'm gonna gift a bottle of gin.
Yep,
it's your gin. It's
gilded,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
My wife. That's her number one. That's her number one.
Nice.
bourbon
Awesome.
barrel, number one for me. Love the
Which
bourbon.
one? What's
the
that?
bourbon, the bourbon barrel gin.
The bourbon barrel gin. Yeah, we had that on with when we were trying to stay close to having whiskey on the show. We had Fritz Perrenboom on, and Fritz was a gin drinker, and I was like, oh man, we're supposed to have whiskey, and then I go, oh, Watershed gin, and bourbon barrels, good enough. And that's before we ever knew you, and we actually said, we want to get you on the podcast. We kept pushing it and teasing it, and then finally we made that happen too. So yeah, so we've actually had your product on before we ever hooked up as friends and booze buddies. I couldn't think of anything else. Booze buddies. Who doesn't need a good booze buddies?
Yeah.
There's nobody in Columbus that you can't say that about, dude.
Yeah. I have a lot of
Too many booze buddies.
Yeah, too many booze buddies. Especially, this house has been like the COVID rest stop. The safe distancing on the front porch, and sampling fine whiskeys along the way. Oh man, I hope things change. I hope this. Everybody talks about the new normal. I don't want this to be the new normal. No. I want to go back to coming down to Watershed Distillery on the next time we talk to you. Maybe whenever that special thing that is coming up, maybe we'll be able to come back down there and talk about it then.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
All
we got
right.
a warehouse, even, we'll just spread out and
we do it. We do it
out.
Yep.
All
All right, sir. We will let you go and continue on with your success. September 19th, people. You can come down to Watershed Distillery and pick up the limited release of this barrel strength, lovely Watershed bourbon on September the 19th at 9 a.m. Pay close attention to 9 a.m. because I think it's going to go quickly. So if you want it, you best get down there and get it. And then, of course, the Ohio Liquor website will have all the places that you can find it in the various liquor agencies if you can't make it down to Watershed on that particular day. The only thing you cannot do is come to my house and have mine, because I'm not even sharing with the other boys at this point anymore. The rest is mine. So that's one thing you can't do. All right. On behalf of Whiskey Business, let me see my boys again, John Whitney, Greg Hansberry, and Greg Lehman as well. Thank you all for participating and being part of this very special moment. Congrats again. And that's it. Until the next bottle. See ya.